今天过后，旧历年啊，又是新的一年哦。我们要提起很虔诚的心，迎接了未来新的一年，年年都有新的希望。过去的一年虽然这全球一照天下，期待大家要祈求的虔诚的能脱造这都是我也天天在祈求，脱离了这口罩，人人要发大心立大愿，也要发愿有一个很完整的爱，我们身体力行无缺漏的爱，那就是要爱护天下众生，让天下众生皆得平安。人需要发大心立大愿，我们也要用虔诚真诚的爱慈爱天下众生。我们更需要提升我们的大悲，是同体大悲。我们不忍心众生有苦难，人伤我痛，人苦我悲。我们要好好的培养这一念心，这才叫做慈悲。那我们呢，还要彼此之间发心立愿，喜舍，要常常记得，我们要知足感恩心，依旧我们的意念要收缩一下，少欲总是多快乐，少欲的人才能真知足，所以小有低就这就是我们开始要把自己人心灵建设起来。你知足了，你才能知道如何帮助别人。帮助人的人是最有福啦，是造福人间叫做修福人，修好要应用我们人人本具有的智慧。佛陀的开示我们，他启示人人皆有佛性。佛性就是圆满无缺，那就是造福，而且明道理，起智慧。咱也要明道理都一旦启开智慧，启开了智慧才能习舍付出。 付出的人是因为有智慧，是少欲的人，他才会去造福人间。有的人会说，我哪有这么多的物资去付出？不是物资，物资呢，尽我们的所有，再怎么付出都叫有限的物质，要有无限的爱去付出。所以当他一时的苦难，我们呢就及时的帮助他们，已经得了，有的穿可以温暖身体。当他饥饿的时候，有的吃，还可以扛着很多的，不只是一餐两餐，那就是1个月2个月。也许呢，我们有短中长期的急难时，我们帮助，我们还要评估他需要几个月的，让他种种储存他的力量，我们帮助他，陪伴他，让他可以恢复元气，看他可以呢自力更生，他也可以帮助别人啊，这就是我们呢最欢喜，用方法帮助到他。方法就是换，哪怕你在陪伴他，也是用法，因为他跟我们一点关系都没有。因为呢，你用上了慈悲的法，同时呢，你还用了时间去陪伴，这也是法。那陪伴他已经呢可以独立了，看他可以呢健步前行，这那就是舍。那开始会当甲帮啊啦，互伊呢去好好行。那苦尽把已，我们还要互为说法。他既能接受到这个法了，他已经呢可以独立。我们还要教他，你感恩，懂得感恩，会感恩的人才会有福。我们要用去把它牵来，来，你我有力量，所以我们大手平行来帮助人。前一阵子师父都跟大家人讲，那用一只手那无够，2只手可能呢还够无够，我们要用4只手给扛起来。明明咱这2只手如何4只手呢？来，我打我的手，我看你的手，你打你的手，再看我的手，就这样呢，一个超过咱2个人的体重，我们2个人可以呢扛起呢1个人比我们2个人体重的人，我们都可以做得到。这叫做互相扶持，去帮助人，这是方法。彼此合力起来了，这 叫做方法。所以啊，法去度伊，所以苦之把矣，互为说法。我再甲伊讲，那这个人呢，绝对有力量。所以啊，我们现在需要集合人人的爱心力量，那可以呢，不断的传。
Okay, let's recite the summary of this episode. 虔诚祈求离疫病，慈爱众生护平安，少欲知足运悲智，协力互助相扶持。Okay, in this episode, there are several key points as follows. So your job is to pick one topic and comment on it. Okay, so there are 6 topics in this episode. Okay, I'll go with the first one. Okay, first, let's pray for the COVID-19 pandemic to end soon. As everybody knows, it has been more than 1 year since the outbreak of the coronavirus. No doubt the whole world is in chaos. To prevent the disease from spreading, many countries are in lockdown. And they also take some mandatory measures such as working from home, wearing face masks, washing hands frequently, and observing social distancing. Worse yet, the global economy is going down dramatically. The pandemic has not only threatened people's lives, but also affected the livelihoods of the poor and underserved. However, recently, with the introduction of different vaccines, there has been some hope for the pandemic, yet it is still a long way to go. On a scientific level, vaccination appears to be the best cure. However, to combat COVID-19, Master urges that everyone adopt a vegetarian diet and follow the rules so as to stay safe and well. Besides, during this time, Tzu Chi has overcome many challenges to provide aid and help lessen the impact of the pandemic. For example, to guard medical workers and to help the underprivileged, Tzu Chi has donated and delivered tons of medical supplies and necessity to countries around the world that needed help. We all need to work together to mitigate the disaster. Okay, so this is my comment on this topic, and there are still several topics for you to comment on them. Okay, anybody want to give it a try? There are 6 topics. Okay. Anybody? Okay, I'll continue with the second one. Okay, to lead a content life, we must keep our desires in check. It goes without saying that one can be austere if he has no selfish desires. 应该有都有听过吧？无欲则刚。Okay, the point, it is the core value of Buddhism. Okay, so by keeping our desires in check, we will be happier and count our blessings. For example, in the face of the pandemic, we must check our desire for meat and go vegetarian in order to protect all lives on earth. Okay, going back to the 6 topics. Anybody want to give it a go? What about the third one? Emma.
Okay, yes. Okay, about the third one, yes. Only by counting our blessings will be known to help others. I think counting our blessings is quite important. So I just share something what I do before the Lunar New Year's Eve, so the Lunar New Year's Eve, if we prepare the New Year dishes, so I prepare the vegetarian food, and so the New Year meal will be vegetarian for all my families. So they can be one meal of vegetarian. And next one, before the Lunar New Year, people are cleaning up their homes to welcome the New Year's. So as a result, they throw out away a lot of recyclables and garbages. So that time, we try to do the recycling. Try to go to our Sanchong recycling station, and we have 8 days of nighttime recycling work and sorting the recyclables. We try to join that work. Next one is because of the pandemic in our community, we have the Harpa Gallery has been canceled. So we volunteers have bring that New Year red envelope of fruit to our care recipients to wish these 8 recipients or long-term or short-term recipients a happy Chinese New Year's. Also, last night in our community, we delivered spring couplets, that's 上人的祈福语, to the store owners. Through these activities, we hope that we can build up a more good relationship and give a chance to the local store owners. And we have warmly interact with them and then accept our sincerity. Judy also have joined these activities.
Okay. So apparently, during the New Year, Chinese New Year, Emma and her family did a lot of things. Okay, did a lot of good deeds. Okay, let's move on to the 4th one. Anybody want to comment on it? Or LG, do you have any feedback on the 4th idea? LG, are you there? Okay. Okay, so the LG, are you there? Okay, the first one is when we understand life's truth, we can tap into, we can make use of our wisdom. Okay, so only by tapping into our wisdom, only we have wisdom, will we keep our desires in check and give with joy and equanimity to sow blessing for humanity and the world. And okay, let's move on to the 5th one. Siri.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, not only do we bring aid to the needy, but we also guide them to become self-reliant. I think in the video, we saw a woman whose face is a bit deformed because she was burned by a fire. Tzu Chi volunteers have helped this woman. And not only do they accompany her and comfort her spiritually, they also brought her a wheelchair so that eventually she can sit in the wheelchair, move around, and also try to sell things and make a living. And also Tzu Chi volunteers encourage her to do recycling. So as you can see, that's how Tzu Chi volunteers help care recipients. Not only accompany them, not only do they bring them aid, but it also encourage them to become self-reliant. They also encourage them to become volunteers so they can also give of themselves. So that's how Master Cheng Yen has taught us to help people. Not only do we feed them, but we also give them a fishing rod so they can also help themselves.
Okay, it is so true. When we reach out to those in need, we must investigate if we need to provide them with emergency aid, mid-term or long-term relief plans until they are able to get back on their feet. 所以我们在提供帮助的时候，实际都会有紧急、中期跟长期的一些援助计划。Okay, what about the 6th point? Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, you guys have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so shall we ask LG to
Yeah,
continue?
LG, I'm sorry because we didn't hear you. So
Okay.
can you just give
Can
you
you
your
hear me?
feedback on any point?
The first one, can you hear?
The first one.
No.
The 4th one. So I started the 4th one. Okay,
Yeah.
when we understand the life truth, we can tap into our wisdom. Okay, I would like to share that a life is a journey to discover, okay, to experience, and then life, a lot of people are saying that life is full of suffering, because you see, in life, we need to face a lot of hardship, pain, sorrow, but just put aside that we have joy, we have happiness in between all these things that happen in our life. Then to me, life is a suffering, we can transform it into a blessing. It's a blessing if we choose to do good things, to cultivate our blessing, then we will open up our wisdom of life. And I would like to take an example of Sister Elizabeth. Okay, not because I'm at her place. I want to say something good, is it? No, I've been with Elizabeth for quite some time, so 2 or 3 years. She's the one that a life full of wisdom. She always thinks of others first, priority, and then she always take care of others, and then she cultivate a lot of blessing to herself. And I really appreciate what she helped me, and then she really did a lot of things to the society, and then among our sisters and brothers. And then she's a very good example that how to cultivate a good blessing and turn all the blessing into a wisdom life. Thank you.
Oh, I feel so.
Okay.
I feel shameful.
Without a doubt, we all know that Sister Elizabeth is she's very wise. Okay, she's very caring and understanding because she has wisdom. Okay, so let's move on to the last point. Okay, Elizabeth, do you have any opinions about the last one?
By giving with care and love, we can inspire them to join our efforts in helping the needy. For myself, I have the maid from Indonesia. She worked very hard, but earlier she want to go out on weekend. For example, she used to play outside. But since he accompanied with me, I always introduce Tzu Ji to him. So she become my recruiting members. Also asked her a friend from Indonesia to donate also. And also he become very frugal and saved the money to buy the house, also help the people, not only in Taiwan, also donate to the people in need in Indonesia. So I find really if we give the love, treat her as the family members, giving with love and care. So finally we can inspire her to join to join her efforts to help the people in need. So I feel love is very helpful to solve the issue. So become very close. Initially he scared what I said, but now it's more, yeah, she opened the heart. So I feel like the family members.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth.
Oh, nice.
I'd like to add something to the last point. Okay, as Master suggests in the video, we cannot leave one person with one hand, and we may not be able to even do so with both hands. However, we can lift one person using 4 hands, just like the picture shows. Okay, this is how people can work together to help the needy. We must find ways to inspire others. We are doing it not on our own, but working together. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in the in the video, we all know a phrase, okay, said by the Master. In the video, Master hopes that after relieving people from their suffering, we must also share the Dharma with them. So what does that mean in Chinese? I just show you. Okay, what does that mean? After relieving people from their suffering, we must also share the Dharma with them. What's that in Chinese?
苦既白以复为说法。
Yes, you got it. Okay, so undoubtedly, those who have received help,
100
you have the ability to help people who are worse off than them. So we need to pull everyone's love and strength together by working hard to pass on the Dharma. Okay. Okay, that's it about the video. Let's move on to the next section. Okay, it's time for us to do some translation. So please take out your pen or pencil or in a piece of paper. Just do it at your place. Okay. So to begin with, please fill in the blanks with proper words in the first sentence and unscramble the second sentence.
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blanks, okay, with proper words in the first sentence. And in the second sentence, please unscramble it.
Scramble.
Unscramble. 第一个就是要填空，第二个就是重组哦，因为那个第二题那个字全部都颠倒了。好，考一下你们的那个对于法语的那个敏感度。Anybody want to give it a try? What about the first one? What is the correct answer?
以至上求菩提，
Yes.
用杯下救众生。
Okay, so Emma, you got it right. Is it so hard? Okay, what makes you think so?
上求菩
You
提。
mean translation?
Yes.
Or-
No. What makes you think so? Okay, 以至上求菩提。我们先来了解一下这个字的意思好了。以用杯下救众生。好，那 Emma, can you just explain it a little bit in Chinese? What does that mean?
就是悲智双运吗？
好，然后呢，就是它有点像我们学过上求
菩提啊，
上求佛道，下化
佛道
众生。
OK， 那这样的行为就是什么样的一个行为啊？上求佛道，下化众生，就是我们所说的 Bodhisattva path， 就是菩萨道。
菩提道。
That's what we are doing right now because we are regarded as living bodhisattvas. Okay, 好。那 what about the second one? Anybody want to give it a go? Okay, unscramble the sentence. 在气生道。And you know it's wrong, it's messed up. So what is the correct order?
身为在道气。
You got it right. 身为在道气. Again, in Chinese, okay, you can speak it in Chinese. What does that mean to you? 身为在道气. So before translating these two sentences, we have to have a basic understanding of them. 身为在道气。
就是要用身体去实行嘛，行道，
实行什么样的
菩萨道啊？
菩萨道 ，OK。So you all got the idea, the main point. So now it's time for you to do some translation. Okay, just at home right now. So you have only 5 minutes to finish your task. Okay.
To practice.
So we got a new brother. Who is he?
Practice Bodhisattva path. To walk.
Helen 非常认真哦，都被我们听到。She's a good student. So are you finished?
Yes.
Okay, so quickly. So let's hear from someone. Okay. So who is finished?
Wisdom 2.
Can I give it a try?
Okay, Siri, there you go.
What's that wisdom?
With wisdom, we pursue Buddha Dharma. With compassion, we save living beings.
Good. With wisdom, we pursue the Buddha Dharma, and with compassion, we save
living beings.
Living beings. Okay, anybody else? You may have different kinds of translation.
悲啊，悲是什么 ？compassion。
Okay. What about the second one? I think this is not a hard one. 身为再道气. Okay. So when we are translating this sentence, 身 means
Use our
your
body to
body,
work.
right? 那再道气 is a little bit hard. Okay. So 再道气，所以气这个气要怎么去诠释它呢？
Practice
是一种 tool 吗？
to walk
还是一
to
种
walk。
我们现在来研究一下，你也怎么去 ？Let's do some discussion, OK？ 气 in Chinese, OK, a tool 工具嘛。但是呢 ，it's a little bit weird.
means
那 in Buddhism 在佛家来讲，我们说会把常常有一种意象是，我们要从 get from one shore across to into the other shore. So what kind of things we can take to go from one shore into another shore? 从
means
此岸到彼岸，我们要搭的是什么？
Vessel.
船。
船
船。So that's why the Buddha returns to
Vessel.
on the ship of compassion. 为什么那个菩萨 Bodhisattva 他们回来的时候呢，都是要那个搭船回来嘛 ？OK， so here 那个
vessel
再到气那个气，我们就不太会翻成 tour， 我们都会翻成什么？
vessel.
vessel
So you're right. Okay, Elizabeth is really a smart student. Okay, 那个所以稍微分一下，你就不会觉得说 this is very hard. Okay,
vessel 船啊，
对 ，vessel 就是船的意思，或 ship ship。那我们说 big ship 就是 vessel. OK， 那 carry you from one place to another place. OK， 所以呢这边的带道气，那这个道呢一定是指什么
our bodies
House.
当然是 the Dharma
is a vessel
Buddha's teachings 就是佛道嘛，我们要
vessel
对身为再道气，我们身体只是一个船而已，要帮助你 get from one shore into another shore. Okay, okay, let's check out the translation. Okay, they're only for reference. Okay,
our body
the first, okay, these are the correct answers. 以智上求菩提，以悲下救众生，身为再道气。Okay, let's check out the translation. Okay, Helen, can you just read the correct answer? 以智上求菩提，以悲下救众生。
with compassion they transform sentient beings.
Okay, with wisdom they seek Bodhi. Okay, Bodhi 就是菩提的意思哦。
菩
然后那
提
个 with compassion they transform sentient beings.
with
I think this is
compassion
very similar to series translation. 然后呢，也不用
they
说，
transform
我觉得这样也是有一些比较精准的字可以用，但是 series translation is good enough. Okay, it's pretty good.
yes sure
Okay, so what does that
Yes.
mean? What is the underlying message of that sentence mean to you? 这句话到底是什么意思啊？
啊，
刚才好
就
像也稍微
是修道嘛，
对，你要修道，修道的方法就是这个方法。
用智跟 compassion， 用 wisdom 跟 compassion，
Right, OK， 你修道一定要有一个方法嘛，
用智慧 ，yes。
OK, we need to have some studying
wisdom.
methods. OK, studying methods. 那呢，修道就像一种读书的一个态度哦。那我们有一个方法，那一定两个 qualities， 两个东西很重要，就是哪两个啊
Wisdom and compassion.
Compassion. 那方向的一个方式就是 with wisdom we seek Bodhi. That's why we have to listen to the Dharma every day and we learn the Buddha's teachings. Okay. Okay. With this kind of wisdom, we can transform sentient beings or all living beings. So what is the undertone? We learn the Buddha's teaching to benefit ourselves and others, to attain Buddhahood. Okay, this is our goal. 成佛道都是我们要做的事情，这是我们的终极目标哦。To attain Buddhahood, we walk the Bodhisattva path. 就是要走菩萨道了。然后呢 how to walk the Bodhisattva path? We exercise both compassion and wisdom to transform sentient beings. OK， 好，这是这句话的一个比较重要的意思哦。OK，what about the second one? 身为再道气。OK， May, can you just read the answer for us?
The body is the vessel for spiritual cultivation.
The body is a vessel for spiritual cultivation. Wow, on the body.
Okay, so
Okay,
sometimes you can say, okay, 再到气，那也可能是 the body, okay, the body, okay, your body is a vessel for spiritual cultivation or spiritual practice， 可能是一种修行，反正修行有时候会翻成 cultivation 或是 practice, okay， 那 to be specific, what does that mean? Okay, it means that we don't have a claim on our life, but only the right to use it. 这是上人常常讲的一句话哦，什么话呢 ？Tracy, we do not have a claim on our life, but only the right to use it.
没有所有权。
哦，这是上人常告诉我们的一件事情：人生没有使用权，人生只有使用权，没有所有权哦。So Tracy, to your understanding, what does that mean to you?
Sure, because everybody get birth to this world someday they will die. So this all the same. So we should take good use our life. Just to seize all the moment to use our to help others. That's what it.
Okay, I heard some keywords from Tracy's comment. Okay, we have to seize the moment, 要把握当下哦 and make good use of our bodies to do good deeds. Okay, so that's the whole point of the second sentence. Okay, okay, have you got them right? Are they all clear to you? Okay,
Yes.
so let's move on to any comments? Nope. Okay, so these are two sentences I think that you can learn by heart. Okay, and I'm give you a pop quiz. Okay, so 再考你一下哦，怎么翻译哈？有背下来了吗？上线还是要考试哦。OK， 请问一下，以至上求菩提，以悲下救众生。So now the case is that you are meeting foreigners, and how do you translate that or speak that in English to a foreigner? 谁还记得呢？
With wisdom, we seek Bodhi.
Yes, and
with compassion, we transform sentient beings.
Wow, Siri, thank you so much. What about the second one?
My body is a vessel.
Okay, I heard May. Okay, I think it's May, right? The body is a vessel?
For spiritual cultivation.
Yes. Okay, the body is a vessel for spiritual cultivation. Okay. Now let's move on to the next part. Okay. Okay, the next part is about the Lotus Sutra. And as we all know, forming aspiration and making vows play a significant role in learning Buddhism. With the power of vows and the willingness to form aspirations, we will have blessing and virtues. OK， 所以呢，发愿很重要 ，vows 是你的发愿，那 aspiration 而且要立志，就是立那个什么的出发心哦。所以 today we will continue with our discussion about the treasury of the Lotus Sutra. So let's start from Siri, followed by Ruby, Tracy, and LG. Okay, so let's start from Siri.
Yes.
Siri, are you ready?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So I'm playing. Okay. There you go.
Yes. 这一段我说中文啊。第25集的静思成语，它讲的是主成就，英文叫做 fulfillment of host。这个主呢，这个 host 指的就是佛陀。他说的是佛陀爱护人间，虽然他示现了入涅盘，他仍然横住世间。因此呢，我们身为佛弟子，只要我们心中有佛， 行中自然就有法。这句的英文翻译我们可以说 As Buddhist practitioners, we hold Buddha in our hearts, Dharma will be in our actions. 也就是说，佛陀虽然入涅槃了，他仍然在我们的心中。只要我们心中有佛，我们心中就有法。那么佛陀他唯一的心愿就是希望人人都能够觉悟。He hopes that every person can be enlightened. 佛陀的德性很圆，因为他自觉觉他。这句的英文呢，怎么说佛陀的德性很圆呢？他就翻译成 Buddha's virtuous conduct is perfect. He works to enlighten others. 也就是佛陀他不但自己觉悟了，他还希望人人也能跟他一样的觉悟。但是这不容易，这非常的困难。要能够真正的觉他，不是一生一世众生就能够觉悟。所以佛陀要不断的回入娑婆世界，不断的与众生结一份缘。也因此上人常常说，我们要入人群，与众生结好缘。因此佛陀的一大化缘就是他去接触人群，去化缘。英文就是 He creates good affinities with the public。 所以佛陀不断的回来，不断的接触人群，不断的化缘。而且佛陀入世间，他不断的与众生结一份缘，他还启发众生的欢喜心来度化众生。所以呢，我们要常常的与众生结好缘，要能够启发众生的欢喜心，我们才能够度化他们。也就是 there is a joyful karmic connection。 除了自觉觉他，我们还要觉行圆满。也就是佛陀说 He has to have perfect enlightened conduct。 也就是我们不但要自觉自己觉悟人生的道理，然后我们要启发别人，而且我们自己的觉行还要非常的圆满。佛陀希望我们和他一样自觉觉他，这样才叫做圆满哦。自觉呢，其实只是独善其身。如果一个人只是自觉，那样子还不够哦。因为我可以自觉，但是我也可以来启发你，你也可以启发他人，这样子才叫做圆满，这样才叫做转法轮。因此我们也称佛陀为万世师，也就是 The Buddha is called teacher of countless lifetimes。 就是佛陀不断的回这个世间，不断的启发我们。所以我们可以说佛陀是一个觉者 enlightened one， 他也是一个知者 a knower。 他觉悟了天地万物宇宙的真理，而让我们要发心立愿的跟随佛陀，愿这一世来世都能够听闻佛法。因为要真正自觉觉他很困难，所以我们要发心立愿，而且我们要发一个好愿，就是不但是这一世我们身为慈济人能够听闻佛法，我们还要发愿来世我们也能够听闻佛法，也能够修习佛道。 In this lifetime we heard the Buddha Dharma. In the next lifetime we hope to still hear it. 所以就是佛法是指引我们光明，佛陀是一个觉者。觉呢，就是意思就是觉察，众生不知不觉都没有用心的去注意。通常我们常常在生活中对很多事情我们是不知不觉，没有用心的去注意，去追究。我们看到了而没有追究。例如我们遇到了天灾，我们没有去想为什么坚固的大地会经不起风雨呢？我们如果仔细的去追究去注意，我们就会知道人类因为欲望而去破坏了自然，而产生了众生共业。这个觉就是察觉，就是注意到天灾的背后有众生共业。所以觉就是觉悟，英文就是 to be enlightened and to examine and to awaken。 悟就是照真本有，英文就是 to awaken is to reflect on an intrinsic true nature。 虽然人生是空的，但是我们的本性是真如的，是真实的。所以 to awaken to reflect on our intrinsic true nature 就是照真本有。察就是了望本空， is to examine is to understand the inherent emptiness。 有很多事情是空的，如果我们能够觉察，我们就能够发现很多事情是空的。悟则是照真本有， 如果我们能够悟，我们就心灵智慧就开启出来了。所以呢，智慧光明就能够反照自身真如本性，真如本性是永恒的。察就是了忘本空，忘就是无常，忘就不是真实的。例如花草会谢，它是空的。察就是了解世间的很多事情是虚妄的。而佛陀不忍众生受苦难 ，He did not want sentient beings to suffer， 所以他成佛的目的就是一大事因缘 ，one great cause to open and reveal his views and understanding。所以成佛的目的就是一大事因缘，就是希望能够启发我们开示悟入众生佛的知见，这就是佛的伟大。他不断的启发我们，不断的爱护我们。我们要觉察我们的真如本性，我们还要向内找出我们的真如本性。如果你发现到了，你就是觉了悟了。觉悟以后，你还要行，觉行要圆满，否则呢就不是圆满的觉。所以说，我们知道 after enlightenment, our conduct must be perfect。所以这就是我今天的分享，希望大家能够了解到佛陀的伟大。能够不辜负佛陀，而能够用心的去体会佛法的真如本性。谢谢大家。
Okay, thank you, Siri. Any comment? 有没有想要回馈的？我先讲一个我最近的一个那个看到一个新闻哦，大家不知道有没有看一个，就是最近啊，美国德州正有那个大风雪。那其实你会觉得很意外，因为德州通常是在它都是非常热的、酷热的。德州，好，那这个就是起因为什么？然后它大雪之后又大停电，好，因为美国德州是基本上是独立电网，就是他们的电网，他们都是德州。我先讲一下背景哈，德州是以天然气跟那个页岩油，就是他们开采油。那德州是属于比较共和党、比较保守的州，他们完全不相信那个气候暖化的议题，他们觉得说那个气候暖化是个邪说，但是呢。就是整个天气就是告诉他们，因为那个整个气候暖化的关系，整个北极它本来是一个冰箱冰库嘛，它把它的那个寒气都困在里面，但因为气候暖化的关系，它整个旁边都已经暖化了，破洞了，所以它整个北极那个什么极库的寒流都往下飘了，所以呢飘到德州了，所以德州很难得，他们常常10年或20年才会有一次的整个大冰冻，大那个什么。这时候呢，我觉得这是一个很好上天一个给人类一个警讯，就是说你认为你不相信气候变迁，其实它就会现在眼前。所以我觉得，我不知道德州这次有没有学到一些教训啊？希望说经过这次那个什么大风雪之后呢，他们能够知道说，其实气候暖化是现在必须正视的问题。OK， 这是我最近看到的新闻，跟大家分享一下。OK， 那有没有人想要关于那个觉察这件事情，或者是你在你in your daily life，OK，what are you aware of？ 你有看到一些什么事情 ？And what are you alert to？Aware and alert， 要有觉察的这个心情哦，要了解，然后呢去察觉到什么异样，有吗 ？OK，no，OK，let's move on to Ruby。Ruby，are you there？
有，这样子听得到吗？
Ruby， 你有寄你的 PPT 给我吗？还是你要说的？
没有我这次先用说的好吗？
可以。
那这样子听得到吗？
大家都听得到。
OK，
听得到。
大家午安。那这一次我延续刚刚 Tommy 讲的这个德州的事情哦，那其实原本呢，我们是认为说整个汽车产业在今年会有一个比较强力的复苏哦，就没想到这样子的停电，不但是导致塑化产业、那半导体产业，还有整个晶片短缺，所以呢，其实对上半年的这个看法，我们又回到一个比较保守的这个看法哦。那所以这个其实也呼应了 Tommy 刚刚讲的，就是因为对环境的不觉察，没有好好的这个珍惜 cherish， 那所以导致这整个后面的后果。那我们要很感谢，其实我们现在都就是生活在台湾哦，那是一个宝岛福田哦。那因为在这边工作和生活并没有太大的这个 冲击，所以无法让我们想象说啊。其他地方哦，受到这样的冲击之后的结果是这么的严重哦，因为开始我们这边汽车的这个零组件厂商，还有一些这个车厂已经有警讯出来说没办法拿到这个晶片的这件事，所以呢，也有后面的这个德国的外交部长，还有德国的其他官员来跟我们台湾。希望我们能够支援他们晶片这件事情哦，所以这整个是串联起来的哦。那这个是延续刚刚 Tommy 讲的德州的事情哦。那接下来呢，我要跟大家分享的就是这个也是刚刚 Siri 分享的这个主成就，那延续下来哦。那其实他在这边因为我有去对照这个书跟这个影集哦。那书这边是来到179页哦，那他下了一个这个一个 brief conclusion 哦。那他是讲说这个 The Buddha's nature is perfect and enlightened. He abides in the light of perpetual calm. The transformed sentient beings he repeatedly returns to the Saha world. He manifests in the ways of sentient beings, teaches according to capabilities and conditions. At the Vulture Peak Assembly, the conditions for transformation were fulfilled. 这个在这个影集上面是有写到这个佛性圆觉住常极光，为度众回入娑婆，应众生法随机应缘，住灵山会化缘成就。那其实在这边前面先说的就是有关于这个 enlightenment， 也就是这个这个要怎么觉醒圆满这个部分哦。那除了佛陀他自己他觉悟之外呢，他也认为众生都有这个佛性哦。那就是这个内在的这个佛性，那就是因为我们都因为其实看到婴儿的时候是最 naive 最纯洁的最 pure 的，那慢慢成长的这个过程当中，就会有一些习气，有一些脾气，那遇到一些环境的事情哦，那这个堆积的晦气就越来越重哦。那但是we each have an intrinsic nature. Once we were in touch with our intrinsic nature, we have attained the most perfect enlightenment. 如果我们能够有一个觉悟，说我们内心的这个佛性哦，然后能够去醒悟它哦，那我们也可以自觉哦。那自觉之外呢，这个佛陀认为就是还要觉它哦。那不能只是就是 small vehicle， 就是用这个比较小乘的哦，就是顾自己而已哦。那其实在适度的时候，我们也是要去让他人知道说这个内在的这个觉性跟佛性是可以这个 practice 经由修行来去做触及的哦。那佛陀也他有说到，就是说他在六道当中呢，他又以不同的这个动物去呈现，然后来说法。那他也以人身来示现哦。那他在以人身示现的时候，就是跟人一样，同样的这样子。然后也有这个视线这个生灭哦，表示这个生老病死这些都是这个必经之路哦。那也经由这样子的过程呢，来这个跟众生来画一个好缘哦。那在后面讲的就是比较像是这个他后面有讲到一点，我觉得还蛮重要的，就是这个自觉别于凡夫，觉他别于二圣，圆满别于菩萨哦。Self-enlightenment sets one apart from unenlightenment people. Enlightening others sets one apart from small vehicle practitioners. Perfect enlightenment sets one apart from Bodhisattvas. 这个就是他刚刚有讲到，就是除了自觉之外，觉他，然后最后觉醒圆满。那再往后面一点，它就是说明到整个 佛陀的这个这个背景哦，那即便他就是出生在一个一个王国的，然后也是一个王子哦，可是他看到自己的父亲哦，还是有经历。除了自己的父亲，还有其他的这些他看到的食物，他还是有经历到这个生老病死哦，就是这些 sufferings。那所以他就决定要出家，那开始就是修行。那最后他觉悟了哦，那所以他也跟觉悟之后呢，他就跟大家希望能够分享这份喜悦哦。不过刚开始他宣说的这个华严经，因为是比较深奥的，所以其实并没有人可以听懂他所讲述的这些哦。那是到后面呢，他又这个关机斗教，用一个方便法门，让更多的这个众生可以接近到这个佛法这个部分。那他也希望借由这样子的这个觉悟，还有这个修行哦，那就是可以让在人间可以减少这些苦难哦。好，那那我的分享以上是我的分享，谢谢。
Thank you, Ruby. So any comments? Okay, so let's move on to Tracy. Tracy, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Episode 27. Mainly our master want to explain the name of the city of the house kings. Why they have that kind of name, and he tried to explain why the Buddha will pick up that place to explain the so important sutra, Lotus Sutra. And before he tell the story about the city, hi, Timmy.
Yes, okay, next page, right? Okay.
No, please. I cannot see myself. I can only see, I cannot, why I cannot see myself?
Can I see yourself?
On the screen.
But do you see the PPT?
Yeah, only see the PPT.
Okay, that's okay. So
That's okay. Why?
Yes.
Because
I'm
I
not very
cannot,
sure, but I can see you right now.
you can see me, I cannot see the other one, right? Or myself.
So you want to call out to someone or?
No, go back to the first one.
Okay.
Go back to the first picture. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. No, the second one.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you don't know why I have to put on this picture here. And actually, the Buddhism, the Dharma, is very, very difficult to understand, really, because actually the Dharma is the natural rules. It's all these things can be discovered by the scientists gradually. So when we said, the master said the place, this specific place has a specific meaning, but why the Buddha at that time, he abides there, that city. And we also know a very important concept is the Buddha is non-abide, but also he abides all the places. So now go back to find ourselves, the people where we abide. We know we abide in the universal. What big the universal? You can see this cosmos map. It's taken by the Hubble telescope. It is so complicated, and so when we think something, we should think, not simplify the things. So to make a conclusion so quickly, like when we think the Buddha, where is Buddha? He has another name, is universal, the great universal enlightened one. Suppose he abides in the universal. So where he is, you can find this map. Suppose we cannot find it at all. So the next one, the next map. And actually, now we all know we should not go outside to seek the Buddha. We should go inside to find out the Dharma Buddha. Like this verse, we all know, should not go far away to seek the Buddha in the butcher pit. And the place for the Buddha to expound the Lotus Sutra is in the butcher pit. And the butcher pit is in the city. The city is called the House of Kings. Okay, the next one. And now we know that everyone has intrinsic nature, Buddha nature. And in the Buddhism, we call this true suchness. And this blessing card, I think it is very easy for us to keep in memory. It's Ru Shi. This is the true nature, Buddha nature, okay? And it abides all the place, abides all the heart of the people, okay? So the next one. And very interesting, our master, even in the episode 27, he said, in the state of Buddhahood, the mindset and the environment are one. It reminds me in recent the relativity, the theory of the relativity, it gives us a very new idea. Is the space and time are in one. When we think anything, we should think the time. We cannot only just consider the space. So when in the sutra, it describes the situation for the butcher pig. Compared to right now, if you visit there, it looks so different. Because if you consider this is 2,005 years ago, you will know why it looks so different. And even if we think that things, we also have to consider the different time. And actually, from this drawing, you will see, you know, when everything happened, actually, the effect would be like the stone thrown into the water, and the effect would be gradually larger and larger. And you see the past or you see the future, it's like a coin, not like linear. The time is like the linear theory. Okay. So next. So now go back to the stories. Why the city called the city of the house of the kings. That means that that city have a lot of kings live there. Finally, because they have a history happened there, The city was a kingdom, and the kingdom even is it's called the word of no harm, because at that time the king is so kind and the people are so kind, and the king even didn't sentence the killing punishment to the people. But the king has the son. The son has a nickname. It's called Mark Foot. He is actually very intelligent, but one day, but only crack the meal, and the
Tracy.
Yeah.
Okay. Just stop right there. Because you were telling the story of how the city of kings, right?
Yes. So
Came
the
to
happen is the prince of Markfoot. One day he succeed as the king, and at that time just happened lack of meat. His lawyer ship cannot tell him the truth. Just try to find out the meat. It happened there is a child corpse there, and he prepared the human bodies, human meat dishes to provide to the king. But unfortunately, the king loved the past and even get the order from that on. Every meal should have that kind of past of the meat dishes. And this kind of cruel action actually was heard by the other kings in the other kingdom, and they all decide to invade this kingdom and want to invade this kingdom and to taxes of this bad king. So this king, the Markfoot king, flee to the mountain. That mountain is Vulture Peak. But this intelligent king was caught by the mountain spirits and ghosts. And first, they want to eat him immediately. And he said, we negotiate with them and want to tell them they can, with their help, with their support, they can catch 1,000 king to let them eaten. So the story is finished in episode 28. But for the finally, it is result is the 1,000th king. The last one was called by the ghost king. He is a Buddhist, and he tell the Buddhism to try to let them know he do not afraid of death, and that the ghost king feels so curious and like to listen to the Buddhist teachings. And finally, actually, the city, even the 1,000 kings and their families, and also for the local residents, live equally. I think this have a great revelation. And the next, so everybody can find anything interesting. The ghost king actually feel curious and like to listen to the Buddha's teaching is why, if you believe in Buddhism, you are not afraid of death. And the story should be continued in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. So I'm going to ask you one question. Are you sure that you are not afraid of death? For me, in my case, I'm definitely afraid of death.
Yes.
But I'm learning.
I'm
learning to face my fear. Okay. I'm learning to get rid of my fear of death. That's why I'm learning Buddhism. What about you?
Yes, I also still afraid of death. So I try to, listen to the teachings, try to study it. I hope one day I really can, just feel no fear of the death. That's my goal.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, let's welcome our next presenter, LG. She's going to tell us something, her feedback on episode 28.
Hello everyone. Can you?
Hi, LG.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Episode 28. The whole episode are telling a story. You see. Okay. Next. Next page, please. Okay. And before I started the story, okay. Everything is subject to causes and conditions. Okay. And then according to what Master said, that a great sutra can pass on for generations. It has a very great causes and conditions. Example like below, okay? And then this is the story about city of the house of kings being established. 所以它里面是有一段故事，但是我稍微把它 simplify in brief, okay? We begin with King Magfoot vowed to capture 1,000 kings of small kingdoms nearby for the sacrifice to evil ghosts in exchange for his safety. So King Surutasuma, I don't know how to pronounce it now. King Surutasuma, Ming Pu Wang, was the last of 1,000 kings captured by King Magfoot. 所以这个明普王呢，其实他是第1000个王被抓的哈，他是最后一个了。So 这个 king, he has a very strong Buddhism view and well loved by his people. 好，这个明普王是一个很受人家爱戴的一个国王。So King Surutasoma was very sad when he was captured. There are two reasons, okay, why he was so sad. Okay, number one, because he think of 999 life of kings about to die. 好，因为还要杀1000个王嘛，所以已经有990个国王被抓了。The second one, that he will lose trust to his people, which he was about to hold a great Dharma offering to his people. 因为这个明普王他还没被抓之前，其实他有一个计划，其实他已经有一个 plan， 他要做一个布施大会。那现在被抓了，这个布施大会就变成没有执行他的诺言，所以他很伤心。Next, please. Okay, knowing the trust he keeps to his people, King Magfoot released him for 3 days to honor promise to his people. And King Surutasoma 就是明普王 returned after 3 days with happiness and joy sparkling on his face. 所以这个明普王 其实是一个真的很有佛法的国王，他就是如愿的 keep his word. So after 3 days, 他真的 return to 那个 King Makfud， 回去再去见 King Makfud， 而且他没有逃避，就是执行诺言。3天后他又再出现了，因为他把那个布施大会已经完成了。然后呢，回来之后他满脸的 joy and happiness。这个 King Makfud 看着就很奇怪 ，He was so puzzled and curious for a person has no fear over death。因为这1000个准备要死了，但是这个 King Makfud 竟然很高兴，而且满脸的欢喜心。Okay, next page. Why he has no fear towards death？ 所以这个就是重点了，因为他不怕死。那为什么他不怕死？ Okay, next. Because the answer is the noble Dharma teaching which King Soratusomo put in his heart. 因为他是一个相当虔诚的佛教徒，所以他已经有佛法入心。All the Dharma is inside his heart, and then he practices it and he applies it every day. So, in short, he holds the principle of the life, like what we are doing it, and then 这4个就是我们都耳熟能详的慈悲喜舍，loving kindness, compassion, joy and equanimity。所以这个we are all 慈济 volunteers, and then we are 慈济 members. So we are very, all those 4 principles are put deep inside our heart, you see. So as King Soratusomo, so he has no fear over his death. Next page, please. So to him, to the king, nothing is permanent. When the time comes, all the things will end and apart. 所以这里上人要告诉我们的就是心中有法。Whenever you have, when you have the Dharma inside your heart, you have no fear over everything. You will have a peace in mind and the compassion to help others. So I take the words appearance emptiness. 这个是 Teacher Lorraine 之前他在读书会有提到的，我蛮喜欢这一个翻译，就是空中妙有 appearance emptiness. We are empty in self nature. So we are not afraid of, in fact, we cannot control our birth and death, but we can control the length of our life. We can choose to be a happy volunteers instead of, we are so worried, and then we are full of conflictions and afflictions every day. We can choose to lead a good life and contribute ourselves to the society. So take Dharma into our hearts and apply into our daily life. That's what Master Cheng Yen always say, almost every day. Okay, next. So mindfully follow the path and course laid out by the Buddha. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So allow me to give you a review of what the 6 fulfillments are. Thus, refers to the fulfillment of faith. Have I heard suggests the fulfillment of hearing. At one time is the fulfillment of time. The Buddha is the Dharma king, so he is the fulfillment of host. At some place denotes the fulfillment of place, while with certain people means the fulfillment of place. 好，那稍微记住一下，给你一个 review， 就是6成就是有哪6成就呢？那呢，如是我闻，在某时， 佛在某地与某些人说了什么话，这就是所谓我们佛经一开始的时候就会有这样的一个阐述哦。这样可以了解吗？就是所谓的，就是这段期间来，我们一直在谈什么叫六成就。I'm giving you a quick review. Okay. So again, in the following, I'm giving you a recap on what's mentioned previously. Okay, in 25th episode, it centers on what a Buddha is. A Buddha has perfect virtue. He enlightens himself and others. He has perfect enlightened conduct. 所以什么叫佛啊？佛就是刚才 Siri 说的，要觉性圆满，你要有觉悟，而且你的行为呢都是非常圆满的。这才叫能够成佛。Okay. In the 26th episode, Master explains why we want to engage spiritual practice. 为什么要修行呢？因为呢 we have to know and believe that there are Buddhas. 佛不是只有一尊哦，有很多佛，已经有几万个已经成佛了。And why there are so many Buddhas? Because everyone has Buddha nature, and everyone can and will become a Buddha. 这是我们要讲的。第26集常讲的，人人皆有佛性哦。那呢，in the 27th episode, Master raises the question: Where does the Buddha abide? 佛到底那个什么，他居住在哪里呀？所以佛到底在哪里？然后呢，所以我们常有 ，we are very familiar with the verse: Do not go far to seek the Buddha at Vulture Peak. Vulture Peak is already in our heart. 所以佛，因为我们相信我们都有佛性，所以呢，佛其实就在我们的心里。He's everywhere. Okay. In the 28th, 那个上人呢花了2集、27集、28集在解释，王舍舍城到底是什么？这个 very interesting story. So, in the 28th episode, Master clarifies how city of the houses of King Wang Shecheng came to be. It was a place where the Dharma was spoken, and it came about with great causes and conditions. 那呢，整个故事的都是有一些因缘的。好，刚才讲过的有1000个 kings. Okay, that's about the Lotus Sutra. So let's hear some comment from Teacher Loren. Loren 老师有什么事情要帮我们补充一下吗？老师你要打开声音哦 ，unmute。
可以听得见吗？
可以。
可以啊。OK， 大家好。新年好。
Happy New Year, 老师。
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When I hear these presentations, I feel I take great joy in listening to all your presentations. I think there is a great meaning in all that you have presented. And the depth of your understanding of the Dharma is increasingly apparent. So 谢谢大家啊，真的这么用心在做这些 presentations. And then Tommy always has a way of doing such a good recap of everything to make sure that that the key points are well understood and remembered. So yes, 谢谢。
You're welcome.
Well, I on listening to these episodes, I found 这个 episode 28 就是这个 City of House of Kings， 这个是个蛮 interesting 的一个 story， and especially the point of that a few of you mentioned about not being afraid of dying. I think for all of us who are still alive, it's hard to imagine anyone who is completely fearless and free of the fear of death. But I think with an understanding of the Dharma, that fear is greatly alleviated. So it's incumbent on all of us to continue to practice the Dharma sincerely, as I believe that when we fully experience or come close to recognizing that Buddha nature, that fear very gradually disappears. Also, when we talked about this particular episode, one thing that struck me was that when the king or the prince saw that the king was fearless and filled with joy, knowing that he would be dying soon, I think it reminds me that what is often said, that there's a phrase called seeing is believing. When you see someone at the moment of death with joy on his, then it inspires, stirs up belief. And that's what's happened. When you are able to face death with joy and happiness, then that's the best way that you can inspire others to believe in the same thing. So seeing is believing. And that's why our own behaviors, as we walk the path of the Dharma, our own behavior is so important. If people find and see that we are filled with joy and happiness, they too will want to walk the same path, because joy and happiness is contagious. 这个是我的一个感想。最近呢 I happen to be I'm on a project where I have to 审定一本书， and 这本书呢就 happens to be on facing death. And there are actually a lot of books of this kind where they talk about what happens as we approach death, and what happens at the moment of death, and what happens in Bardo. So the more we read up on all this, the less fear we'll have. And we will understand that actually everything that we're doing right now is preparing us for that final moment. So we must have faith that we're doing the right thing. Okay. Now, 另外, if I have a few minutes, I'd like to talk a little bit about something that I've always liked to talk about. I always feel that it's important to talk about, and that's the concept of emptiness. 因为当然在这个 episode 25、26里面，他都会讲到这个空性，and 空性这个 topic 呢 is actually very difficult to understand. Just as Tracy said, a lot of the teachings in Buddhism are very difficult to understand. And I think amongst the teachings, emptiness is probably the most difficult, because to a great extent, it counters all the conventional wisdom that we've acknowledged, that we've been taught since we were young. It's also difficult to understand from several reasons. It's difficult to understand because Kongxing in Buddhism means something very different from we normally think Kongxing means or emptiness means. Normally we think of emptiness as implying nothing. But in Buddhism, emptiness does not mean nothing. It means something else. So there's this one confusion that arises. And another confusion about emptiness is that even within the Buddhist teachings, emptiness can be said to mean different things if you're referring to phenomena and when you're referring to Buddha nature. So I think that it's good for us to know the difference here and to have that clarified for us, for the very reason that I myself went through a period of thinking that I understood emptiness, then finding out that I really didn't understand it, then coming back and thinking, oh, I do understand it, and then maybe not. So it's sort of, because so much of the teachings in Buddhism, I mean, if you look at the definitive teachings and the provisional teachings, they can say very different things. So what I like to do here is just quickly summarize my own understanding and of emptiness as it is explained with phenomena in general and with respect to Buddha nature. 因为上人呢，平时会讲我们是有佛性的，也不只是上人了 everyone says so， 所有的大师都这样子讲，我们是有佛性的。所以 when we talk about this 有 it sounds like 既然是有的话，就不应该是 empty。 And yet, when we talk about phenomena, like in the second turning of the wheel of the Dharma, we talk about all phenomena as being empty, as not inherently existing. So all phenomena are empty because of causes and conditions, and because they do not truly exist in and of themselves. This is what we're taught. Okay. 那到了这个佛性的时候呢， we are also taught that 佛性 is empty. But we're also taught, even though it's empty, it truly exists. 在这里呢，就有一个 source of confusion. 既然前面我们讲一切是空的，它没有真实的存在，为什么到了第三个法轮转法轮的时候，我们会讲佛性也是空的，但是它有永远的存在。 Okay, now perhaps all of you have an answer to it already, but I must say that for many years, I would circumvent between understanding and not understanding this point. But it's only in the last couple of years that I've started, and through my own translations and reading and listening to certain teachers, that I've come around to understand why there might be a confusion. 事实上啊，我们在讲佛性的时候啊， 我们一定要把这个空跟光明放在一起。我们把空跟光明放在一起，所以它这个佛性呢是空的，它就像 just like all phenomena, the essence of Buddha nature is empty. Okay, but 那什么是 truly exist 呢？ 因为佛性有两面，它有那个光明那一面，那个光明那一面 truly exists. It is everlasting. It is permanent. So that explains why in Buddhism we're actually talking about two kinds of self. 它有两个定义。When we're talking about 法 in general for phenomena, we're talking about a non-self, 因为所有一切法是空的，它没有自性的。但是我们谈到佛性的时候，我们也谈空，但是它有那个光明那一面，那个光明是永存的，是真常的，不是无常的。And 那个光明 is the very cause of the manifestations of all the appearances in the world. So that's real. So LG 说这个 appearance emptiness 就是真空妙有，因为我们有这个光明 in 我们的佛性。This allows for infinite manifestations or appearances in the world. So 这个 without 这个光明 there would be no manifestations. So that's the point that I want to make. that when we talk about Buddha nature, we're also talking about emptiness. But it's not nothing. It is there because of the Guangming, and that is what exists eternally, 是永远在的。也就是上人讲的 true nature leads 那个 all things, they still exist. They always exist. 我希望我这样子讲并没有更 confuse 大家。But I think that if we, at some point, if people ask us the seeming contradiction in emptiness 的时候, that we have an answer that 人可以接受，我们自己也可以接受。谢谢各位。
Okay. Thank Teacher Lauren for her insights. Okay, they are really insightful. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Okay, today's Jing's aphorism is 新的要哭，旧的要顾. Okay, this is often said by our master. But before we talk about the topic, let's read the comic strip. Okay, a boy finds his laptop to be slow. He thinks it's time to say goodbye to his laptop and give a new one. The next day, he goes to a computer store and looks for a brand new model, which is on sale. In the end, he buys a new one and feels very awesome. So do you agree or disagree with the boy? Helen, do you agree with the boy? If you were the boy, would you do the same thing? Okay. I can read your lips, but you just unmute yourself. Okay, what about Tracy? Do you agree with the boy or disagree with the boy?
I think I will agree to him. If I have money, I can afford it.
Okay, so let's hear some answers from May, Elizabeth, and LG. Do you guys agree or disagree? May, if you were the boy, would you do the same thing?
No, I would try to fix it first. If it didn't work, I will buy a new one. And before that, I would try my best to fix it.
Okay, so in May's case, she would fix the old one and keep the old one. Okay, so it varies from person to person. So today I'm going to introduce a new phrase. It's not a new phrase, it's an old phrase. Okay, it is out with the old, in with the new. We often say this at the beginning of a new year or at the beginning of something new. It means to leave old things or ideas behind and start fresh with new things or ideas. Okay, so before Chinese New Year, we Chinese people tend to do a spring cleaning. 大扫除一番哦. This is the time we sweep away the dust and give our homes a good thorough cleaning. So we do this in order to make a clean, fresh start in the new year. And another great way to start fresh is to get rid of all the clutter. So a clutter means a huge mess. So my first question for you is, do you have a lot of clutter in your home or mind? If so, how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Okay, so yes or no? Teacher Oran, do you have a lot of clutter in your home? Or I can see from your place is pretty neat. So do you have a clutter in your home or mind?
Usually people tell me that I don't have any clutter in the house. So I'm almost on the verge of being yippee in that sense. I don't,
okay.
Right, I don't like clutter. So I try to be as neat as to live as simply as possible and do with as little as possible. So I go for what I need and not what I want.
Wow, that's a very philosophical answer. Okay, so I can tell from your place, Teacher Lorraine is always on the clean side. Okay, what about others? Elizabeth, I can tell from your office it's very clean, but do you have a lot of clutter in your home or mind?
Yeah.
I have some bad habitual tendencies. So I reflect myself. Last month I asked one good Dharma sister to come to my house. I give almost 100 courses to her daughter. So I know it's really we must eliminate a bit of ignorance. Then we can create the wisdom. This is my bad habitual tendencies. So donate is the best way.
Okay, to give away things that you no longer use. Okay, so picking up from Teacher Lorraine, okay, she tends to live a very simple life. Okay, these days, more and more people are discovering the joys of living a clutter-free life, just like Teacher Lorraine. Okay, so which means to remove something redundant and unnecessary from your home, workspace, or even your mind. If you own too many things and you haven't used them for a certain period of time, such as drawers full of unneeded items, closets full of clothes you don't wear anymore, and decorations that are outdated or no longer meaningful, which in turn leads to a sense of disorganization. It is time for you to declutter. 稍微学一下，真的有这个字哦，叫 declutter， 要 get rid of clutter， 要清理一下你的家里或那个环境哦。Okay, so to declutter means to remove things you don't need from the place in order to make it more pleasant or more useful. So suppose you have to declutter your home or mind. What is the item you cannot part with? Another question for you. 什么是你无法断舍离的？如果真的你要 declutter your place or your mind, what is the item or what is the thing that you cannot part with? Helen, 要选一个东西，
I think
要
it's
declutter.
maybe all pictures.
All the pictures. Okay, the photos you have taken in the past.
I have a lot of them. I have to.
That's
Maybe
because
there's a way they say
Ricardo
you have to
is in
scan
the
them.
picture.
You have to scan the old pictures and then you can clip. You can clear it.
So
People, a friend told me that we have to do that, to scan the pictures.
Scan all the
Store
photos.
in the computer, in the iCloud, and then we can do that.
Okay, so the photos in
have to
Helen's
do
case,
that,
the
so.
photos are of the things, okay, the items she cannot part with.
I have to
Well,
do
what
that.
about can we hear from someone else like Rachel? Rachel, are you there?
Oh, yes.
Okay, what is the thing? If you have to choose one thing
Rachel.
you need to get rid of. So what is the thing that you definitely don't want to get rid of or part with?
Get rid of the thing in my house or what?
No. My question for you is, okay, what is the thing or item that you cannot part with, you cannot get rid of?
Maybe
Suppose that you tell yourself it's time to declutter, but this is the thing that I want to hold on to. I cannot throw it away.
my cell phone.
Your cell phone. Okay. So Rachel, okay, to be clear, do you have the symptom called MOFO? You know MOFO? FOMO, fear of missing out. 就是那种不能漏接的那种恐惧感。
I think I'm still okay, but yeah, if there is some there is something I need to do maybe at work, I also can like focus on the work and then didn't touch my phone for a long time.
Oh, okay. But still, you don't want to get rid of your smartphone, okay?
Yeah, in the casual time, in the leisure time.
in your leisure time, okay. But don't worry, you still have a laptop or you have a computer. Okay, but this is a bad joke. Okay, so as for me, I used to have books and magazines piling up on my desk or in my room. I thought they would come in handy someday. But over the years, they have been put on the shelves and started collecting dust. Therefore, I decided to say goodbye to my books and put them away. Now I'm keeping a few and find it quite neat and tidy, both physically and mentally. So this is my example. So declutter is similar to the concept of renunciation. 我想 Teacher Lorraine 是以前都有帮我们提示过 renunciation。
对对对，这个 renunciation 这个出离心啊，就是我在这里回到 declutter 啊，这也跟这个佛法有关系的，就是说东西在家里太多的话 ，you're trying to declutter, right? So you can make a real effort to examine the things that you don't really need, and you either donate them or you get rid of them. The other thing is that you may, on the one hand, declutter, but at the same time, you bring in a lot of things into the house. 所以这样子的话呢，就是没完没了。You're always going to have the house filled with things that you don't necessarily need. 所以在法里面，如果我们看这个12因缘里面呢，有一个因缘呢，就是缘起，就是这个 soul， 这个 soul feeling。Okay， and 从 soul 呢，下面一个缘起呢，就是 desire， 就是这个爱。Okay。所以常常修行人的话呢，他们都会讲，如果你可以 break the chain of 这个缘起 from feeling to desire， 那这个就是 the start of cutting the root of samsara。也就是说 ，when we see things， when we come into contact with things 的话 ，we have a feeling， 有一种感受，这感受可能是好的。可能是不好的，或者是 either way neutral 的。那多半的时候呢 ，when we 有个很好的感觉，比方说，如果我看到一个很漂亮一个背包，我就升起一个 desire 或者一个 craving， 我就我想买。它这样子的话呢，这个 desire is what keeps us in samsara。所以他们在修行方面的时候啊，他就要你特别用心。我们在讲这个 awareness and 用心，用心是什么？在哪里用心呢？就是 between 你 feeling pleasurable about something and the actual desire of 拥有它的时候 ，you are aware that the desire is arising and you put a stop to it。所以我们去看很漂亮一个背包的时候，我可以去欣赏它。我 can appreciate it, but it doesn't mean I have to buy it.
Yes, right. That's
所以这个是在修行上也是个很重要的一个功课。
Okay, so to declutter is similar to the concept of renunciation or letting go， 就是断舍离。我觉得有点类似。in my interpretation, I think that it means that quite similar to each other. So it takes courage and to break the sentimental attachment to things because we live in a world that is driven by consumerism. 我们的世界就是一个消费行为的主义，充满整个消费行为的世界啊。That is to say, we are bombarded with advertisements telling us to eat more, shop more, and indulge more. However, if you have a change of mind about your desire to have more, you will believe that less is more， 应该都有听过吧 ？Less is more， OK， 那个什么叫 less is more 呢 ？For instance, if you have less stuff, you will have more space. If you spend less, you will save more money. If you own less furniture, you will have more room in your house. If you drive less, you can walk more. If you eat less junk food, you will lead a more healthy life. If you spend less time on social media, you will have more time to read or get along with your family. If you have less stress, you will have more sleep at night. If you have less desire, you will harbor more gratitude in mind. 所以这什么叫 less is more？ 那呢，just like Teacher Lorraine, I think that Teacher Lorraine, do you see yourself as a minimalist?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. I hope that you don't want to be a maximalist. 就是呢极大主义者哦，就是什么都要。OK， 那呢这是两个最近蛮 trendy 的，就是 being a minimalist is very trendy right now. Okay, so maybe we can learn from Teacher Lorraine.
早年的时候啊，就是现在有一个 trend towards minimalist。早年的时候，这个大概就是我自己的个性，我就不喜欢东西多，我就常常你会觉得东西多的时候，你去照顾它。You know, you have to 照顾很多东西。So it's very time consuming, not meaningful time spent to 照顾很多 material things. OK， 所以我早年的时候就是很 minimalist。那当时呢，我都不会觉得人家后来我才发现人家觉得我很奇怪，就是多半的人都会想买东西，我就没有那种想买的那种，起码就是不会过头的想买。所以这个是讲到一个 personal story。2 years ago, I was 在纽约的时候，这个我的一个晚辈呀，这个我们他们长大的时候，到了我家的时候，看到我们家里东西很少嘛，他就一直就觉得，他说这个很替我难过，因为觉得他说这个阿姨大概是家里很这个缺乏很多东西，他是这样子他的心情是替我难过，因为他觉得这个阿姨什么都没有，很可怜。OK， 那2 years when I went to New York 的时候，我突然 realized she came to me and she said, you know， 那个时候我觉得阿姨是很可怜，现在 I 才 realize that's what is minimalist.
Okay, so I think that let me give you another example. When you buy clothes, do you wear clothes or let the clothes wear you? 你知道那个 you wear clothes and don't let your clothes wear you. 就是买衣服应该是挑你喜欢你自己想要穿，而不是说它是一个 Chanel， 它是一个 Coach， 我就去买它。如果是这种心态的话，就变成衣服穿你了，不是你去穿衣服。Okay, so I'm just giving you a example. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So my second question for you is, okay, because it's New Year's, so please name one habitual tendency you want to get rid of in 2021. 我想我们应该都有 if we are ordinary people, we all have habitual tendencies. Okay, please just name one that you want to get rid of. You want to declutter. OK， 有没有人想要说一下 volunteer？ 有没有习气想要改的啊？就是 OK, this is my goal. I want to get rid of my habitual tendency. For example, some people tend to be tardy, to be late for meetings, for school, OK, for anything. So they want to get rid of being late. Rachel, 你可以帮我点一下，看有谁吗？
习气
Or Rachel, in your case, do you have any habitual tendency you want to get rid of, or you want to declutter in 2021?
Maybe is read more books.
Read more books, okay.
Because before when I want to read books, I always like read a few pages, then I feel sleepy.
So
That's
you
the
are
finding
kind of
ways to like get rid.
so when it comes to reading, you are scatterbrained or absent-minded. Okay, you cannot focus
Yes.
on reading. Okay, so I'm gonna share something that I want to change this year. Okay, as I told you last time, going on a digital detox， 这也是蛮最近常流行的一个 movement 一个活动哦。Go on a digital detox，detox 就是你有不管吸毒啊 ，take drugs，drink alcohol， 你都有一些 toxin， 所以你要把它 detox， 我们说戒断。所以呢，because I find myself spending too much time on my digital devices, which is a waste of time and bad for my health. Okay. So I wish to restrict myself from social media and focus on doing something more meaningful. So this is something I want to get rid of and declutter. Okay. So going back to today's Jing's aphorism, 新的要哭，旧的要顾. So the sentence can be translated into English as new ones must be recruited while old ones need to be taken care of. Okay. So to be specific, no one, either young or old, is left out in 慈济。那个环保站，我今天才去做，就是一个很真实的一个场合哦。So in every recycling station, you will see a lot of old people. So what are they doing there?
Recycling.
Yeah, they are doing recycling. Okay, but another main purpose is that Master is creating a place for these old people to do something more meaningful. Okay, so that's why we said old ones need to be taken care of. 老的要顾哦， because 他们就是家有一老如有一宝哦。Okay, so that's because everyone can and will become a Buddha. That's why we must pass on the Dharma from generation to generation. 所以这句话其实真正的目的是要告诉我们一个概念，就是传承的概念哦。所以新的要顾，旧的要顾。Elizabeth, can you speak Taiwanese?
Taiwanese.
Yes. May, how do you say this in Taiwanese? Okay, so 就有押韵的感觉哦。Okay, so that's about today's Jing's aphorism. Okay, so Emma, do we have any newcomers we want to introduce?
有些看不到人的脸也，所以不知道是名字是谁。
好，没关系哈。
可不可以请大家把那个视讯打开一下，就知道是谁？因为我有邀请，可是我不知道这些有的没有。
你朋友有吗？
我看有 show 了，
应该有20个人参与，可是有的人不知道他的代号 FH。
那有没有要自我介绍一下？就是说你可能 you are a newcomer and you want to introduce yourself.
那个 I invited Kelly.
Kelly. Kelly， 你讲话也 Kelly。Yeah, newcomer.
有吗？
有吗？因为他FH 不知道是谁。
好，没关系，
他没有写出他的名字。
OK， 好，那没关系，那我们就是下次的时候 ，next time please come to our gathering and introduce yourself face to face. Okay, so let's move on to the last part. Do we have any information updates? Ben, are you there? Ben 师兄在吗？
那个是他哈，带孩子的这个。
Ben 师兄不在。好，那个什么 Emma， 那你有什么 Steven 师兄也不在吗？
他原来在，
我在啊，我在啊，
那 Steven
兄你有
下次的共修在3月20在松山联络处。
对。
那下次要不要分享4位分享的人先确认一下？
对，请4位有没有要分享？
那我们
29、30、31、32、4集。
Helen 师姐，你有想要试一试吗？
Anybody call me?
Yes, I
对，回来了。
被你醒了。
I'm watching all the time.
Okay, so do you have any updates you want to tell us?
Updated? I think Stephen should have update one. Stephen,
Yeah.
you should update.
Emma 师姐，我可以分享一集啦。
都可以啊，而且29、30、31、32。
好，那我 take one. Okay, I take
29 or 32.
32好了。
32. Okay, Tommy 32.
Helen 师姐呢？我蛮想 Helen 师姐。
我不行。
真的吗？
不要找我嘞，拜托。
外物太多。
不是外物太多，到时候是口不择言就糟糕了。
不会啊，
不知所云，不知所云，真的。其实找别的吧，找年轻的啊。其实29好像是延续的嘛。
对，29是延续前面的。
对，对不对？一样的。
王舍城的那一部分。
对
呀，其实不多，可是后面有一些，对。
29。
那
因为你们都做得很好，那个 presentation 做得很好，我就不会做呢。
好，那 Emma 你要在这时候找吗？可能会有点小困难哦。
哦，这样哦。
拍谁哦？
没有，就是看有没有人愿意先那个先认领一下这样。
Emma， 我认29好吗？
感恩
Siri 讲的最好。
对，Siri 今天讲的很清楚，其实中英夹杂就是更清楚这样。然后他也解释的蛮清楚的。对，很棒。
谢谢，那我认29。
好，感恩 Siri。
谢谢。
那30跟31还没人认领。
30。
我可以推荐 Ricardo 师兄吗？
他讲中文啊？
对啊。
可以啊。
好啊，就是讲中文好了。
Helen， 你可以帮我。
他很会讲，他可以啊，他很会讲。
吗？
不要帮我讲。
受大教这个难耶。
可以吗？
受大教，修大法，行大道
Ricardo 师兄。可以麻烦你下次来跟我们分享吗
？Ricardo 没办法啦，讲佛法我真是很困难。
这个。
要罗任老师来讲一讲，罗任老师讲的很棒。
定要来吗？还是美珍师姐 ？Hello， 定要不要来那个？
我可以选31吗
？31 OK 啊。
定上次分享非常棒哦。
对呀，定上次。对呀，把自己的亲身经历讲出来，很棒。
那我选31就好。那我选
31。OK， 感恩丁哦，31。美珍师姐 ，Green 啊，要不要来一段
？30是这个。
还剩一个。
有没有要推荐的？快点。
LG
没有，不要 Catherine
妹好久不见哦。
对啊，
妹要不要来一下？ 妹，你下次 OK 吗？
Catherine
29比较
好，问是
29是故事的样子。
他Steven
Steven
has never tried.
对，
老师，我们等一下，老师，我们等一下要拍一张那个 good photo， 给大家。对，我们先拍一张 good photo， 可以吗？
我怎么被主持人那个封锁那个影像啊？所以我都没有影像哎。
我有封锁吗？
要自己打开。
帮我封锁啦。
哎 ，Rachel。
没有，就是现在
开
Tommy 老师的那个 share
那我要
screen
退出来吗？
可以退出，就可以拍一个大合照。
好的。
那我不知道怎么样。
可以吗？
他们就
有了。
哇，都出来了。哇，
这个就是
好，那大家可以打开。
先打开一下你的那个头像。
打开什么？
会有吗？
就是那个要影像。那个幼儿园已经打开了
可以哈。
我自己的有点问题，是我打不开。
为什么？
左下角有个视讯那边可以打开吗？这样大家可以看得到。
可以吗？
好，那要准备拍了。好，1、2、3 ，OK。
有吗？
有吗？
对了。
好的，那个 Emma， 那你是不是还欠一个？
对。看有没有人愿意那个下次。
Emma， 你为什么有背板啊？
我女儿弄的，我女儿她执行开会的那个她还没弄掉。
很像摄影棚的感觉。
这可以啊，其实大家都可以做啊。
可以设定，可以设定。
对，可以设定的。
background 可以设定。
对。
那个 Helen 师姐，你帮我劝一下 Ricardo 的师兄啊。我真的好想听听他的。
我们2个一起好了。
好的。
好，那就30吗？
哎，帮我写，我来讲。
31不是定吗
？30 OK。
对，30
嘛哈，30 Helen 跟 Ricardo。
其实大家不用紧张哦，我们本来这个读书会就是 encourage 大家是以 Chinese 为主，那英文就是用 key point 为辅，那就是最主要是让大家可以学到说，哎，这个法真的在想要 deliver 什么，所以说大家不用担心用英文或中文，反而我们希望是以中文为主，没有问题。
好的，那就是希望下次能够就是现场看到大家咯。
我们有一个 Kelly 好像是新加入的，所以请 Kelly 先介绍他一下自己。
Kelly, are you there?
他好像已经退出了。
退出了
吗
？OK。
然后我在金色遇到他，然后请他来参加外队，然后就把他介绍给那个中区的外队，这样。
是妹介绍 Kelly 来的，
所以他是台中的吗？
对，他是台中的。
OK。
好的，那 Steven， 你有什么事还要跟布达的吗？
没有，我现在 Elizabeth， 你的额头是怎么样？
你有事啊？
对啊。
你要干嘛？
年会。
是哦。要多保重了。
不在，我写好。
你写好，我念就好。
好了 ，So this is a lovely afternoon. So I'll see you next time.
Ben 最后给我们一些 report。Ben 师兄，请 Ben 师兄要最后给我们一些 report。
我们非常感恩啊，这个过年期间大家还是一样线上共修非常精进尤其罗任老师陪伴我们这个几个小时，非常感恩。
不要转，
他们真的做得很棒然后这个每一次读书会是靠汤米一个人，就是把 organize 这个所有的课程都是他在 organize， 非常棒。真的，我们是希望说以后线上共修如果是多的话， 也是希望说能够有这样子热络的表现啊，然后感恩这个我们慈济外语队这个大家庭在这边啊，希望能够今年牛年大家一样顺顺利利的健健康康的，然后疫情赶快过去啊，大家能够再聚会的共修，感恩。
好 ，So Alex 就是就大家互相祝福感恩哦。
谢谢 Tommy， 谢谢 Rachel， 谢谢大家，
谢谢，
拜拜，
谢谢 Tommy，
再见哦，拜拜，再见，拜拜，
拜拜，
功德圆满。